1-2-0-2-0-2-0.
So the week leading into the show, it starts to get to the point where, in terms of nutrition, I don't really care what food tastes like anymore. Food is literally just seen as fuel. And in terms of workouts, the last week especially is just about getting it done, because you can easily get so tired and depleted within 30 minutes of doing a weight session. So for me, it was all about taking a pre-workout, trying to smash it, get it done in 45 minutes, get as much done as I possibly can. But it is really taxing on your body, and you do get tired very quickly, and you start to not enjoy it's probably the wrong word, but you don't enjoy it as much when you are that depleted. My biggest concern going into the last week was, I don't know how other fitness competitors feel about this, but my main concern was just getting sick, getting ill. I think mainly because 16 weeks of 16 weeks of my life leading up to the show, and you just don't want to be ill on the day of the show because that would just ruin everything. I think even at times I convinced myself I was getting sick, like a sore throat or headaches all the time. But I think when you're just stressed about the show so much, I think everything gets on top of you, and you can make yourself ill as well. But at the end of the end, I wasn't sick, it was all good, and yeah, it was a great day. Other than that, the peak week, I didn't change anything drastic, nothing, didn't change really my water, carbs, sodium, that kind of thing. All I did was have a high carb day the day before to give myself a bit of energy for the stage. In fact, if you want to see my peak week video, hit the link above here. So the day before the show, I didn't actually feel that nervous. It's kind of hard to explain how you feel. You're kind of every emotion possible. You're nervous, butterflies, you're excited, maybe a little bit of pressure as well. Just every emotion you can think of, and it's all coming together. I don't actually get that nervous until my tan goes on. When that goes on, you know it's reality now, and it's really to start to sink in at that point. Anything else the day before is just about getting to the venue, praying for no traffic, hoping everything runs smoothly on the day, get to the tank, get to the registration, and then just try and get to the hotel and just try and relax as much as you possibly can. But it didn't run smoothly for me the day before my show, because the sat-nav just took us every single way around London, went through the Blackwall Tunnel about 7 times, couldn't find where the tan was. I was worried I was going to miss the appointment, but I think all of that stress then actually, I forgot about the show a little bit, so it kind of did me a little favour in a way. But other than that, it was all okay, and then just in the evening it was all about practicing posing, and then just trying to relax as much as possible and trying to get a bit of sleep before the big day. Okay, so the day of the show, the big day has come, 16 weeks, all for this day. I like to get up, not early, but relatively early, start to practice posing again. And for me, the posing this time around was all about getting a routine set up and stick to it, and just keep trying to practice it. I think in terms of posing, I approached it a lot better this time. So rather than what I did in previous shows, is I'll practice once a day for like 30 to 40 minutes, and during that time you can start to question your posing, change it, keep changing it, and just plan with your head too much. Whereas this time I probably did it 3 times a day for like 10 minutes, and it worked a lot better. Just went through my routines once or twice, and that was it. In terms of food in the morning, I just had a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fat. The main thing I wanted to do was to make sure I was going to be eating something that my body was used to digesting and it was used to eating. I made the mistake last time, my last show, of trying something out a little bit fancy, and I ate something that my body probably wasn't used to digesting, and it then caused me to have a little bit of bloating sensation, a little bit of stomach upset. And then you start to panic because you think you're going to be bloated for the show, and then yeah, so this time made sure I ate something that my body was used to digesting, and definitely helped this time around. Then from there, it's just about getting to the venue, getting to the O2. We're only 10-15 minutes away, and there was no traffic, it was fine, we got there, no worries. And then when we get to the venue, this is going to sound maybe a little bit silly, a little bit stupid, but in terms of how I like to approach it before I go on stage, I actually do quite like to keep to myself backstage. I like to just sit there, focus, try and think about my posing, maybe put some music in my ears. But for me, it's all about totally focusing on what I'm about to go and do and step on stage. We've been practicing this, we've been working hard towards this for the last 16 weeks. So yeah, all about just focusing backstage, and then just trying to keep my mind on remembering my routine. It possibly could come across like a little bit grumpy, a bit moody backstage, but please don't judge me by that. That is literally just me trying to focus on the show and trying to focus on remembering routines, and yeah, just trying to relax as much as possible. I'm more than happy to speak to anybody backstage, but most of the time I'm literally happy to just sit there, focus. I don't really want to worry too much about what everyone else is doing. Don't want to worry about too much what they're eating, but what they're posing like. I want to focus on myself and focus on what I'm going to be doing. And that's just how I like to approach it. Okay, so those moments just before you step on stage, just waiting behind the curtains, waiting to go on. I won't lie, other than my first show, this is the most nervous I have ever been before stepping on the stage. It actually got to the point where, even though it was cold backstage, my knees were actually starting to tremble. I think that was just a mixture of it was cold and I was just really nervous as well. And I think it's just because the emotions build up, and you've worked so hard for the 16 weeks. You worked bloody hard for the 16 weeks. I counted every calorie, worked out twice a day, slept at certain times, make sure you got plenty of sleep, and posing practice endless. I think it all can build up. Sometimes it can get a little bit too much, and it just gets it builds up on you, and then the nerves really just start to kick in. But it's such a big moment in your life, and you've worked so hard towards it, so it's understandable. And I think if anyone says they're not nervous but they go on stage, nah, they're lying to you, definitely. So backstage at this point, my only concern is really trying to remember my routine, remember my posing, and just try not to rush it as much as possible, and try and take it in, try and enjoy it as much as I possibly can. You've worked so hard for this moment, so hard for this 15 minutes. Just really try and enjoy it as much as you can. So when I actually stepped on stage for my individual routine for the Pro Beachbody, I actually did have a little blank moment when I stepped onto the first X of my first pose, but soon forgot about it. Adrenaline kicked in, and then I think I flowed quite nicely in my posing routine. I think some people could look at my posing and my stage presence and see it as a little bit arrogant. He's a 26. But I'm definitely not arrogant, so I would definitely say it's just trying to display confidence. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to make the most of it, then why you want to be up there? I had one chance at it, so I was damn well going to make the most of it. So I really wanted to display confidence, have good stage presence, but not get to the point where you're so showy and it just looks arrogant and it looks a bit too much. So it's trying to find that perfect balance. Away from the stage, I'm actually quite a quiet person, and I've had a history of being very shy. And still to this day, at times I can be shy. So when you're on stage, it is a little bit of a show, but in terms of I've worked so hard, I literally want to make the most of it and make my family proud. So that actually just tells me that if I can do it, then you can definitely do it. If you really put your mind to it, you can get on that stage and you can give it your all if you really want to. So compared to last year, when I was on stage this time, I was actually 2 kilograms heavier than what I was last year. And I feel I was just as good condition, if not better. So that showed me a good solid year's progress, a nice little bit of lean muscle building there. So I'm very happy with the condition I brought to the stage. I feel my stage presence was good compared to other shows. I think in my first show, maybe obviously you're a bit nervous, so you don't give your full potential. In my second show, and I won last year, I upped it a little bit. Stage presence was a little bit better. I think maybe in my last show, stage presence, I was trying to be too showy, trying to get the crowd involved too much. So for me, it was about finding that perfect balance this time, and I think I was very happy with what I brought to the stage and my posing and my stage presence. Another thing I also noticed from looking at images, from past images, and from looking at videos, that my smile on stage is no longer a fake smile. So the smile that when you do your first show, you're told to smile and just to make it look like you're enjoying it. But nowadays it's definitely a real smile, and you can just tell that my facial expression is a natural if you look at it compared to my other shows. So that was nice to see, and then when I look back over the footage, I can tell I actually did enjoy myself on the stage this time, and I think that's what it's all about. Anyway, I was very happy with what I brought to the stage. My physique, my conditioning, just everything for me went very well on the day, and I think that's important to me anyway, because you're always going to be your biggest critic. Just before going on for the awards ceremony, I felt okay. I mean, once I'd done my routines for my categories, I was texting my friends and family in the crowd saying, did I do okay? Was I better than everyone else? How did everyone else do? Did I look confident? Was my posing okay? They gave me great feedback, but you do think to yourself, they've been a little bit biased. They're going to say that, in that, really, let's be honest. So the Pro Beachbody was the first award to come up for my categories, and this is the one that I really wanted. This was on, I suppose it's because I wanted to retain my title. Did feel a little bit of pressure as well, because I'd won it last year. So this is one that I really wanted, and the 16 weeks of prep this was my main focus. And the countdown comes in, you've got 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then I haven't been called yet, so I've either not placed or I've won. And then I just looked down there and called out number 120, Dan Rayner, and just so emotional. And I think there was a little bit of relief in there as well, that I did actually regain my title from last year.
In first place, your new Beachbody champion, number 147, Dan Rayner. In first place, number 120, Dan Rayner.
Closely followed by a couple of clenched fists and a little look to the sky, then looking to my friends and family in the crowd, and just seeing how happy they were, and then just me smiling back. And then yeah, it was so emotional. It was so much to take it. So then when the International Male Model Awards part started to come up, I was kind of thinking to myself, well, I've won what I came to win, and I'm happy with what I've achieved so far. Anything else in this category is going to be a bonus, but in my heart of heart, I was more than happy with what I got already, and then just anything else was a bonus. And then actually, as soon as second place was called out, I actually felt a little bit sick inside, because again, I thought, oh, I've won, or I've either not placed. And then I looked at my friends and family, and they started smiling, and I was like, no, don't do that. And then 120, Dan Rayner was called out again. It was so emotional. I literally looked up to the sky. I couldn't actually believe that point. And then looked at my friends and family again. They all started crying, and I had to literally look away at one point before I actually started to cry as well.
And in first place, your new International Male Model winner, number 120.
So yeah, I was emotional. I was so overwhelmed to win both of the categories that I went in for. So then the last part of the show was the overall. So for the entire show, that every single winner had to stay on stage, and they were going to announce the top 3. And I remember saying to my friend next to me, I think I'm a little bit out of my depth here now. But hey, I thought, why not? Let's try and get the crowd a little bit involved, try and get my friends and family shouting out my name and number. You never know, it might happen. And then third place, 120, Dan Rayner. That was just absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, in third place, number 120, Dan Rayner.
In fact, in my YouTube video, I actually wrote this. And that was definitely probably the proudest moment of my life so far, to achieve 2 first place trophies and then to come third out of the entire pro show. That was quite a lot to take in, that was quite emotional. But after that, then I couldn't wait to get back to my friends and family in the crowd. And then before we left, I posted on my social media accounts, and I wanted to make the point that we did it. I did not do that on my own. There is no way on this planet that I could have done that without my friends and family in the crowd. And the amount of texts and support I received through my friends and just through social media, it was absolutely epic. My phone was going mental backstage, so if I didn't reply to you, I'm sorry, but I had to turn it off at one point because it was so much going on. I had to really try and focus. But it was so much support. I mean, compared to last year, the support was doubled easily. I can't thank you all enough for that. Okay, so the days after, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually sleep for about 54 hours after the show. In fact, I probably only slept about 2 hours in 5 days. I had so much adrenaline, I just kept thinking about the moments over and over in my head. And then my friends were sending me the videos of the winning moments, and then it was just unbelievable. I was so happy. But for now, it's just trying to, I've taken it in a little bit now, but it's trying to take the rest of it in and just trying to relax a little bit on the diet, still keep the training up, and obviously keep dieting. It's a lifestyle, it's not a diet anymore, but just to relax a little bit more, try and enjoy some more time with my friends and family, and enjoy Christmas, and then we'll see what 2017 can bring.